Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be here to share some achievements that our graduate program has had over the last, I'm going to talk about the last 3 years because I've been in the position for that long, and I've taken the opportunity to always leverage off these retreats. I hope that you can see some of the feedback incorporated in some of the things that we've been working on and accomplishing. These are just some among many, I think, achievements that all of you have helped contribute in the work that you do in our graduate program. And I always like to start off with big successes like scholarships and awards, because I think that in our graduate education program, our students really excel in this area. And evidence of that is this past year with the Governor General's gold medals, both our master's and PhD, we cleaned house, and they won those. We are also very successful at Vanier's and the William Davies scholarships and many others. So we continue to work with our graduate students at supporting them in applying for these competitions. We're grateful to Graduate Science Education and Tara Beatty for the support both her office and Faculty of Graduate Studies offers us as supervisors in working with our students to encourage them for these competitions and awards as well. Some other things, as you know, recently many of you have been getting emails from my assistant Trenna on my behalf. We're undergoing a refresh mode. If you have been serving on one of our 3 education committees, we are giving you an opportunity. Yes, it's an opportunity to either remain and renew on that committee or to experience what it's like to work on one of the other graduate education committees. We're very fortunate to have terms of reference in place. There's 2-year commitments, and we like to operate on the basis that you select the committee you want to serve on, and if I don't hear back from you, then I may nag and ask for more hands, because we do know that as we can increase the number of faculty that serve on these committees, it actually reduces the work overall for any single individual. So thank you for your collaboration and participation there. We're also very happy to report that we have terms of reference that are going through stages of approval currently for our students. So we implemented specialization representatives from students sitting on from the master's as well as the PhD. And so we will have those hopefully to share with you soon. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the curriculum mapping, but as you know, Tara will be speaking about kind of the curricular or the unit review. But I'm very grateful for the success we've achieved so far in identifying program level outcomes, course objectives. The course mapping is complete. We're actually ahead of the curve in this work, but I'd like to refocus our efforts in the new year, looking at what the results of that curriculum mapping is. We're able to identify what our strengths are, what challenges, what gaps we might be facing, so we want to reduce redundancies. And of course we want to move along to looking at meaningfully aligning our assessment methods with our desired educational outcomes as well. Happy to report that there's a small working group that has been looking at regularly meeting actually to identify ways to respond to the calls to action, and specifically for education to reconciliation. And one concrete advancement, one of many that are in the works, but one was that we incorporated a workshop orientation, an introduction actually, thanks to Cheryl Barnaby, Rita Henderson, Thomas Snow, and Lindsay Crowshoe at our block week course this year, and it was very well received. We have a new process for TA-ships that's in response to students' needs for or requests for transparency. We're collaborating with our instructors, receiving feedback on that, so I'm happy to report things are going well there. And this will be a critical source of funding that we need to be able to manage as we move forward with some other initiatives, as you'll see with the guaranteed funding models to come for our PhD students. And as all of you know from my Departmental Council report on Friday, I am seeking approval for candidacy requirements. We had a very successful recruitment event, which reminded us that we have a great deal of local talent right here in Calgary, and they showed up to this event. Again, that was a collaboration with Graduate Science Education, and many of our junior faculty showed up to actually connect with these people. I think this was successful, and we're going to have this annually. So I'd like to be more strategic, and I'll be chatting with you throughout the year as how we can do that going forward. And finally, I clicked, I guess, my slides. The supervisory mentorship and supports. There's a variety of initiatives, both through Faculty of Grad Studies as well as workshops that we have made available to all of you to help you in the work that you're doing with our grad students. And then just to give you an overview of what our future directions in the graduate training program include, of course, targeted recruitment and admissions, which is something that follows from that recruitment night. We want to examine what our reputation is, what our image is, how can we better market ourselves. I think today's retreat will give us some valuable information there as well. Looking at a competency framework to kind of package the curriculum work that we're all doing. Happy to report that there's going to be program level feedback systems that we're trying to create. So starting this fall, instructors will notice a colored sheet going in when the university evaluations go out. There will be a colored sheet which is program level specific feedback for students to provide, which will give us hopefully some feedback with regards to our courses, but also our instruction, both from our educators as well as from our teaching assistants. And that again is in response to both student and educator stakeholders. And we're hoping that that will be more timely feedback and valuable feedback that we're able to offer at a program level. We're talking with CHEES, our student executive group, about onboarding for the TA-ship. The whole TA-ship process actually brought to light how do we actually prepare our students to teach. And there are a number of valuable resources from Faculty of Grad Studies that are available on main campus for our students. So we're going to look at how we might better connect our students with those resources, as well as deliver some from our local end as well. I don't have much to report on PhD guaranteed funding, except that it's in the pipes and it's coming, as many of you know, or all of you should know by now. We're still having ongoing conversations with FGS. I would expect that, given that policy will be ready to be probably shared with people by the end of this or next term, implementation will be in 2019, September 2019, whereas previously we thought it might be 2018. The program is actually functioning currently as though we were already under this guaranteed funding model, though, because we need to experience what it's like. And so admissions, as well as issuing of our program level funds, are operating with that model in mind. And finally, exit survey, where we're hoping to, starting in 2018, for me to actually meet with all of our students post-defense to collect some information as well that will not only provide us with the program evaluation information, but also serve to keep us connected with our alumni, find out where do they go, what are they doing, how can we re-engage them, keep them connected in our program, and help inform admissions and teaching and scholarship that we do in our program. And so that all culminates really in this whole assessing dimensions of our program, looking at both the quantitative as well as qualitative data that we have available. I don't think we've been very good at mining that information or even collecting it and managing it. And so I'd like to help us focus our efforts on doing that. And of course, looking at, are we actually training our graduates for the jobs that they're seeking or that they're able to obtain when they leave our program. So with that, I will ask if there's any questions. And otherwise, just thank you very much for all of your contributions, because without you, our graduate training program wouldn't be what it is.
Elizabeth, as far as you know now, with respect to PhD guaranteed funding, will there be an option for a PhD that has satisfactory and complete self-funding to still pursue PhD training?
So I think the conversations we've been having with FGS is that our student population is a bit different. We have been talking about whether or not self-funding is going to be part of that model. There are universities and institutes across Canada that don't accept self-funded students. I think that the way the conversations seem to be going, and it's not policy yet, there may be exceptions an opportunity for us to define what we mean by self-funding. So in our case, as some of our students actually have daytime jobs, have salaries and support, that might actually be considered a legitimate source of funding. Thank you very much.